Hey everybody, welcome to your horoscopes for this week. These horoscopes are for the week ending 5/23/2015, and it's Mercury retrograde week, guys. On Tuesday, Mercury is going retrograde for the next 3 weeks, and that's going to be favorable to some and not so favorable to others. So we're going to get right to the horoscopes and see who's going to do well with this retrograde and who's going to have a little bit of a struggle with the retrograde. And as always, we're going to start with Aries. Uranus is in a great position and a not so great position. So there's a couple of different things going on. We're going to start with the challenge because it is a big one. As Venus moves into T-squared position with Uranus and Pluto. And this is going to last for about a week, maybe two-ish. And it's a very difficult one when it feels like you're sort of feeling as if your responsibilities to those you love are kind of sort of making you feel like you should be spending more time there than on your career goals. And this is a difficulty, especially if someone comes to you and tries to make you feel like you're not spending enough time with them. And it really creates this sort of mind screw going on when you know, because they're playing with your emotions, basically. You don't want to let a temporary situation rule your ultimate goals. And now that's the challenge. The good thing is that Uranus is in a grand sextile for almost all week long with Jupiter and Mercury. And this is where the Mercury retrograde is actually in your favor, as it shines and points towards your career. Mercury retrogrades are all about communication, and the communication can go absolutely whacked out crazy when this happens. But at the same time, this is a good opportunity to allow your clear and precise communication to shine through in both the T-squared challenge as well as this feeling of the grand sextile. When everybody is communicating like crazy people around you, you can still remain focused and clear to your communication, allowing you to shine above all of the other crap that's going on around you. So this situation with the T-square could really be fueled by this Mercury retrograde energy, as somebody just really needs you at that moment, and you may or may not be able to be there for them at that time. Don't feel bad. You're not Superman or Superwoman to everybody around you, but you are Superman or Superwoman to your own goals. And trust me, it's in everybody's best interest, including your families, for you to succeed. Because one, you're bringing more money into the situation, and two, you're also teaching all of these lovely people around you how to do it. So tap into your awesomeness, guys, because you know you have it. Don't let the challenges bring you down, and definitely use that Mercury retrograde to your advantage. So you guys have a great week with that. Taurus, happy birthday to all the bulls this week. A special happy birthday actually happening today, as a matter of fact. My beautiful, lovely friend Jude Hibbs. I unfortunately can't throw in a happy birthday to every single one of my students, but this lady has been just so helpful to me and my business and Grateful Fairy Wings that she definitely deserves a happy birthday mention. And it is today, Sunday, as a matter of fact, that she's celebrating her birthday. So I hope, Jude, that you are having an absolutely beautiful birthday, and want you to know that all of us here at Grateful Fairy Wings and Heavy Metal Psychic, we just love you to pieces, and I hope you're having a great day. As for all the other bulls celebrating birthdays today, it's literally the last few days of the sun's time in Taurus, and we're kicking off the week with a new moon in Taurus as well, as a matter of fact. And this is actually a big help. The moon in your sign is going to be a big help for you, as it conjuncts with the sun and trines with Pluto, giving you a boost of help when it comes to those that are really there to support you, and in some cases a boost of help when it comes to those you've supported before that are coming forward to support you now when you need it the most. And you are going to need it. As the sun moves out of your sign in opposition with Saturn, it's a very heavy opposition, especially when it feels like your responsibilities at home are keeping you from being able to shine when it comes to your career, or it's just the simple act of not being able to do what you want because you feel that you have other responsibilities that just have to come first. Now you Tauruses are beautiful at helping others. There is very few signs that really rise above you in this. And a lot of times helping others is the excuse that you need to ignore what you have to do at the same time. So new experiences, new ideas, new exciting prospects, a lot of times will be followed up in your mind by, well, I would if I could, but I can't because I have to take care of this person or whatever. You can do both, number one. You can do both. And remember, the person that you're caring for loves you like they should be loving you for everything that you've done for them. They're going to be there to support you 100% in your ventures also. Being able to see through the obstacle of the opposition and look to the support that you have, those people that you love and are eternally loving you back, helps you to have a view of the beautiful life that you really do have, despite the obstacles, which are a very important part of that beautiful life, because you wouldn't have a life without them. That's what life is all about, bringing you challenges so that you have the opportunity to learn a little something about yourself and about the situations around you. So enjoy that new moon energy, because it's really going to give you a boost of awesome results, guys, this week. And it's really going to boost that true love and support that you do have around you to make sure that you can be successful in what you want to do. So you guys be awesome and have a great week with that. Gemini, happy birthday to the Geminis. The sun's moving into Gemini this week, and it's going to be all about you guys shining in your opportunities, especially when it comes to your career. And Mercury is also going retrograde, Mercury being the ruling planet of Gemini. And it's all about communication. Now, before you duck and run, because everybody's going to want to do that. Every time I say Mercury's going retrograde, everybody says the same thing. I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to put the covers over my head. I'm not coming out for 3 more weeks until the Mercury retrograde is over. But this is a full Gemini Mercury retrograde, which means that Mercury is going to be in Gemini the whole time. And being that this is your ruling planet, there's a big lesson to learn here in this retrograde. And you know what? Why not focus on the lesson? What have you got to lose? And it's already there anyways. You might as well learn a little something from it, right? Retrogrades are all about going backwards, so going the opposite of what the direct motion is. And since Mercury rules communication, you Geminis being big communicators, this time it's about kind of stepping back that communication and listening instead. And this Mercury retrograde is actually very favorable to you guys, because in grand sextile with Jupiter and Uranus, we're talking big possibilities here. We're talking learning old lessons and letting them go, being able to have the finances available to do what you want, and specifically go for your dreams and goals, what it is that you want to do. When it comes to your career or things like that, you want it to be what you want to do. Geminis don't necessarily like to have careers that don't have any kind of meaning to them. Now, when it comes to this retrograde and it being in a very favorable position for you this week, the biggest lesson in it is to stop your communication and listen to what's going on. Now, a lot of it might be a lot of babble or baloney, but you're listening to understand, not listening to respond, and that makes the biggest difference. You never know what it is that you might be missing by listening rather than trying to communicate back. So take a step back this week. Close your lips there a little bit, just so that you can really hear what it is that's going on around you. Trust me, you might be missing a beautiful opportunity that you didn't even know about. And it might have come up before, but unfortunately you weren't paying attention because your mind was going 10,000 miles a minute. Listening to understand really means focusing on the words that are being said. Again, even if they're full of baloney, it doesn't mean you have to take the information. It just means that you have to be prepared for that information. And also paying attention to the words around you that are full of baloney are in your best interest, because now you know where that person's head is at. So you guys dare to do the absolute best that you could do. Seize the moment, make it your own, and you guys have a great week with that. Cancer, as Venus moves into T-squared position with Pluto and Uranus this week, it presents a difficulty, and a very heavy difficulty, as Venus is all about love, and this aspect may really make you feel as if you're not feeling the love. You put so much out to everybody else. That's what Cancers do. They're the nurturers of the zodiac. They put their heart and soul and everything into everybody else, and it's really difficult when you find yourself in situations where you're just not feeling that reciprocation coming back at you. And it may not be necessarily those that you're putting that time into, but other types of relationships or specific types of relationships. At the same time, Venus is trine with Neptune really allows you to see through your true heart in the matter and be able to see the support and love that you do have around you, specifically those that support and love you exactly for who you are, warts and all, and everything. When you feel like somebody is putting you in a position where they will accept you and they'll love you, but only under certain circumstances, that is a very difficult position to be in. And a lot of people fall for the, well, if that's what I have to do in order to be loved, then that's what I'm going to have to do. At the same time, unfortunately, this never works out in that person's favor. Never water yourself down because somebody can't handle you at 100 proof. You deserve to be exactly who you want to be, who you need to be, and who you feel you should be without anybody else telling you any different. So if you're having an issue with that this week, just understand that person has a problem. That's that person's issue. You may need a little bit more understanding for them, but at the same time, it doesn't mean you have to put up with that kind of stuff either. You deserve to have everything that you want, and don't let anybody tell you any different. So you guys have a great week with that. Leo, it's a great week for the Leos this week, as Jupiter's grand sextile with Uranus and Mercury, even when he's retrograde, really helps you out when it comes to communicating your needs in your career. And it's not just about your needs either. It's about being able to feel where somebody is coming from rather than focusing on the words that they're using, which is really important and something that you Leos are generally very good at when you put your minds to it. So for example, a good example of this would be somebody coming to you and just absolutely flipping out over something, and rather than taking what they're saying personally, you're understanding where they're coming from on an emotional level. So it's not just focusing on the words, it's actually focusing on the feeling behind the words. Communicating from heart to heart rather from mind to mind or from mouth to mouth, which is the general way that we tend to communicate. It's really favorable for you, especially when you're, not just when you're doing this, but also letting go of the old negative thought processes and just seeing what you can accomplish. A lot of times we come up with a plan and we're like, yes, but will it work? Am I going to get there? Where exactly am I going to go? All of these questions really get in the way of your ability to be able to shine when it comes to your career, or to be able to make the advancements that you'd like to make in your career. This week it's all about throwing all of that out, making a plan, sending it out to your guides in the universe, and just saying, hey, this is what I want, and expecting it to happen. Take away the self-doubt, take away all of those other worries and all of those other things going on in your mind, and just allow what's supposed to happen to happen. It may not be exactly what you had planned, but it's exactly what you need in order to succeed. So you guys, it's time to own your power, because you have a lot of it, even if you don't necessarily think that you do, and dare to do exactly what you're supposed to do, what you're fated to do, not exactly what your mind thinks you should do. And you guys have a great week with that. Virgo, it's all about you this week, and it's very lucky, or you're very lucky to be you this week, as the part of fortune kicks off the week Monday through Wednesday in your sign. And this is a beautiful thing because you're going to feel the love for you. Things are just going to fall into place. You may even feel like you're receiving gifts and blessings from every direction possible. And this is a beautiful thing. Of course, you want to celebrate it, but most people, especially the analytical Virgo, and with Mercury being your ruling planet and in retrograde, it's going to go into your mind. And that famous thought that always comes up for a lot of people is, why is this happening to me? What did I do to deserve this? The dark moon comes into your sign just about the time that the part of fortune leaves to really help you identify those old thought patterns and different stages of your life where those old thought patterns kind of sort of came in and just screwed up all of the blessings, because those negative thought patterns, that's what they do. So don't question why it's happening. Open your arms up to say, hey, I'm ready for all the love, abundance, and blessings that are due to me, and I don't need to know why or what I did that or any other reason as to why they're coming to me. I just need to accept them, because that's how you keep accepting those abundance and those blessings over and over, is just by being open to them. As soon as that thought comes in your head, what did I do to deserve this, or I don't think I deserve this abundance, you're closing the door to that abundance. The universe has enough for everyone, and it's all there ready for you. All you just have to do is open that door and be ready to receive. So you guys, don't worry about it, because worrying never gets you anywhere anyways. And open your arms and open that door to receive all the abundance and blessings that you are due, because it really is time to allow yourself to shine. So you guys, have a great week with that. Libra, the dark moon starts off the week in your sign till about Wednesday, and she's really bringing up situations that mimic memories from the past. And these may not be memories that you want to visit, but situations that mimic those memories seem to pop up, and it kind of sort of forces you to remember the situations that you've had to deal with before. This is not comfortable for anybody, especially anybody born under an air element, as air elements tend to be more logical rather than emotional. At the same time, though, this, as always, is happening for a reason. It's one of life's beautiful lessons on how to change the outcome so the situation doesn't keep popping up over and over again. And the dark moon is all about change. Changing your perception, changing the way that you think about it, and changing the way you see the situation. Oftentimes when it comes to past roots, we're so stuck on how it made us feel that we block out everything else that we need to learn from the situation. And these things are popping up currently now in order to help you change that and change the outcome so the situations aren't constantly coming up again. As she moves out of your sign back into Virgo about Wednesday, just as the part of fortune moves into your sign Wednesday through Friday, shining some luck in your sign when it comes to eliminating those past roots and also changing the way that you think about them. It's a freedom that you've been needing for a long time now, guys, and there's no time like the present to work through it. Let it go, let it fly off into the universe, and really and truly tap into the true potential that all of you Libras have, because I know you have it. So you guys, have a great week with that. Scorpio, as Saturn moves closer and closer and closer to your sign, 1 degree in Sagittarius, which means 2 more degrees, and bam, he's full on into Scorpio, which is going to happen about the beginning of June. But as he moves closer and closer to cusping your sign, you're really going to feel his oppositions with the Sun and Mars. And this aggressive Mars energy really is important to you in this particular aspect. He's also squared with Neptune only for the first couple of days of the week, and then finally that aspect is broken up, which is good news for anybody who's been dealing with it for any length of time, specifically the Sagittarians. But this particular aspect is really focused on the issues when it comes to the home. And it's in opposition with the career. So issues at home, oftentimes when they get really, really heavy, they tend to sort of move into different aspects of our lives, specifically the really important ones like the career. And when this happens, you've got a lot of issues going on at home, whether it be changes or difficulties with family members. And then you get to work, and what happens? You start to have difficulties there. Any other relationships, you start to have difficulties there. It sort of fans out all of a sudden to all aspects of your life. But it doesn't have to do that. This opposition or this obstacle is here to teach you that this is the time you really, 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 more than any other time in your life, need to take a step back and balance it out. And this is not always the easiest thing in the world, but what happens is you've got all these things going on in one area, you're focused on the negativity, you're going to start seeing it in other aspects of your life. It just pops up that way. You can eliminate this right now by simply taking a step back, taking some time for you, and do something for yourself. Because just because you're going through stress doesn't mean that you don't have time to take care of yourself. By doing this, you allow yourself to nip in the bud any possibilities of having to deal with this in all aspects of your life. And you can contain the stressful situations that you're going through in one aspect of your life. Does it eliminate the stress for good? No, but the stress in itself, or the situation in itself, there is something to learn. What you are doing is eliminating it from spreading out and fanning out into every other aspect of your life. And this also gives you a break. When you have to go to work, you're not thinking about the stress at home. You're focused on doing whatever you can and succeeding when it comes to your job. So you guys, yes, it's a little bit of a difficulty. It's going to be a little bit of a difficulty for the next few weeks. But I know you can handle it, and it is showing you a way of being able to eliminate, for some of you, a pattern that's been going on for a while. Let the stress in your life stay in the one aspect of your life, and don't let it fan out into every other part of your life. You guys are awesome, and have a great week with that. Sagittarius, it's been one heck of a roller coaster these past few months, but Sagittarius finally moves out of that squared position with Neptune for a while, which is a beautiful thing, because that opens up a lot more help to you than you had before, which is a great thing. We do still have that opposition with the Sun and Mars going on, and so it is really feeling that energy is really making you feel like your responsibilities are the anchor to achieving your goals and dreams. And various different circumstances are really coming up to show that this anchor is very, very strong. Now, at the same time, though, it is a challenge. That's all that it is. And what do we do with challenges? We learn to overcome them. So even if you're having these little anchors or these little situations that are coming in and keeping you anchored, it's all about your mindset and how you're looking at the situation. If you don't see the anchor, it's not there. If you're focused on the anchor, it's never going to go away. Really important in this particular situation is to not let Mars energy take over your frustrations, because Mars can be very aggressive. But I also have to say that if the situation calls for it, by all means tap into that Mars energy and let that inner saggy fly, because the truth is, no one should be telling any Sagittarian what to do. I mean, all the Sagittarians that I know, it never really worked out for the other person. If you have to put your, pardon me for saying it, but your bitch panties on and handle the situation, you need to do it. And you deserve to do it, because really, you're the one that's going to speak up for yourself the most. With Neptune's squared position ending about midweek, you will have more people available to help you out, versus feeling as if you're trying to get them to do things that they don't want to do so that you can do what you need to do. It opens up that communication there a bit better when it comes to having your support. So you feel like you have the support versus fighting this on your own, which is a really, really good thing. And it really does lighten down this aspect quite a bit, but it's still there. It's still plaguing you. You Sagittarians are great at being able to see the silver lining in the darkest storm, and this obstacle, what it is going to do is really test your ability to do that. But if I know anything, I know that you'll still be able to do that. So you guys, it's still a little bit of a struggle there. These situations are still going to come up to plague you, but you are fully armed and ready to go. So no matter what happens, do what you do best, overcome it, forget about it, and move on. And you guys have a great week with that. Capricorn, Pluto's T-square with Venus and Uranus is a pain in the behind this week, unfortunately. When it feels like those that are supposed to be there to support you just aren't there for whatever reason. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're jerks and they don't want to be there for you. It can just be as simple as this week is not good for them, everything is falling apart for them, and you can't count on them in that particular state. It's very difficult when this happens, but at the same time, Pluto's trine with Neptune is all about bringing together the support that you do have. Now, it may not be who you were actually focused on or who's supposed to support you. It may be somebody completely different. And really, it's a beautiful thing because they're ready and willing to help you out, and at the same time, they may have some fresh ideas or something new to bring to the situation, whatever it is that you're working on or having to deal with. So it actually eliminates the stagnation of how things work sometimes and brings you a new, fresh outlook on the situation and what it is that you're doing. So it's definitely highly in your favor. Try not to spend too much time getting frustrated over others not being there when they're supposed to, and be open to something new, bright, and fresh, because you never know. They may take what you're doing to a whole new level that you never thought was possible. So you guys, it's a little bit of an obstacle, but it doesn't have to be the end all of the situation. There are others. Keep your eyes open for the others that are there, ready and willing to help you out and put a brand new energy into what you're doing, because everybody needs that every now and then. So you guys have a great week with that. Aquarius, this week is all about spending some quality time with those that are most important to you. The typical Aquarian has about 10 to 15 different irons in the fire, and oftentimes what happens with that is, you wind up spending so much time focused on all of the things that you need to get done. You can spend long periods of time without interaction with other human beings around you. Aquarians are kind of the hermits of the zodiac, but you need that time at the same time. It's not just that you need the time to enjoy within your relationships or with people that are the most important to you, but that time also is an unplugging time from all of the things that you need to do or all of the little projects that you have going on. Now, very, very important. When you take this time with those that you love, it's really important to focus on being in the moment, being with that person, enjoying the relationship. If you're forcing yourself to do it, but in here you're thinking about all the different things that you have to do, you're not unplugging and you're not taking a break. You're still working on it. When you take a break, it's a complete and total unplug from everything that you're doing and just quieting what's going on in here. Being able to focus on those people that are really, really important to you, that if you don't give them time, they're not going to be there anymore. But also at the same time, it's giving you a break so that you can go back to what it is that you're doing with a completely, totally fresh, awesome outlook on it. Whereas if you never unplug, it's going to get stagnant after a while. And no Aquarian likes things to get stagnant. So you guys, enjoy that time with those that are most important to you. Because next week, it's time to get back to work. And you guys have a great week with that. And finally, Pisces. Thankfully, this week, Neptune moves out of squared position with Saturn. That's been a heavy one. It's been a major pain in the rear. but unfortunately she is still squared with the Sun, Mars, and the retrograde Mercury this week for most of the week. This is going to be a bit of a difficulty, especially as it feels like some of your professional relationships might be getting in the way of you moving forward and being able to shine when it comes to your career. Now, there's a couple of things going on here. First of all, if you are looking at others that are holding you back, and you know, those other people are holding you back from your potential, there's always a mirror there, and those people become the excuse as to why you're not reaching your full potential. And not necessarily that it's their fault at all. And with this Mercury retrograde energy coming in, remember, retrograde means do the opposite of what you normally do. So if you don't speak up to these people, now's the time to do that. Say something. You don't have to say it in an aggressive way. A calm, to the point way is always the best way. Overly emotional or overly aggressive doesn't always work out very well. And that's going to be difficult as Mars is right there in the middle of this aspect. Also, at the same time, her aspects with Venus and with Pluto are very significant because you've got the support coming from all sides there. So you may have some difficulty with a few relationships, but you got tremendous amounts of support from other relationships at the same time. Those that are there to support you, those that you've supported before that are there to support you. Basically, what this really comes down to here is you just may need to be the one to let go of that bag of excuses and move forward. Those professional relationships, they might actually just be waiting for you to make the first move and be the leader so that they can all fall in line and fall in suit behind you. And this way you're teaching them what it is that they need to do in order to succeed as a group instead of an individual. So don't use any of them as excuses, guys. Look in that mirror, say, what is it that I'm doing to hold myself back? And stop it. Don't do it anymore. Reach your full potential, reach for the stars, and don't let any obstacles stand in your way. You got the help and support from as many people as you could possibly think of. Now it's time to do what you need to do. So you guys have a great week with that. Thanks so much for listening to the horoscopes this week, guys. I'm Melissa Bruce, the Heavy Metal Psychic. Don't forget to check out, you know, the regular places that you check out, our Facebook pages, and of course our website. Links are on the video. And I hope you guys have an absolutely super fantastic week, even though we're in a Mercury retrograde. You know what? Take that Mercury retrograde and make it a great one. And I'll see you guys next week.